I'm sorry, but why is no one talking about this? Seriously, I understand that everyone is already obsessed with the new region, the upcoming teasers, the new banners, and all that good stuff. I get it, okay? But last month, something happened inside the community, something that honestly should not have happened at all. And somehow it feels like people just decided to ignore it, pretend it did not happen, or move on as if everything was fine. And I did not see a single bigger creator talking about this, which kind of surprised me, because I really believe that we as content creators should speak up when something feels wrong or when the community goes in a weird direction. Events in-game are supposed to be fun, right? They're supposed to be cute, interesting, or at least bring people together in some way. But this time, the experience was complete opposite. And yes, I was there. I saw it with my own eyes, and the whole situations around the Unleash Your Style super styling contest left me sitting here like, what is going on here? Because this was supposed to be a wholesome fashion event, not a battlefield. So today we are bringing back the Cozy Yapfest because I need to talk about this and you need to hear it because I want your opinion too. Not to spread the drama, but finally acknowledge what actually happened. So take your tea or coffee and let us talk about what happened in the 1.11 Infinity Nikki super styling contest, because it's a crazy ride, Starlights. But before we dive into today's topics, I just wanted to share something really exciting with you. And no, this is not sponsored. I genuinely wanted to share it because I think it's super cool. So here's the thing. I have this incredibly hardworking, super talented friend who made something amazing, and I really want to show it to you because I believe in her dream of being a standalone developer. So she created BeeStreamerIdler, an interactive desktop overlay for streamers. But even if you are not a streamer, maybe you have a streamer that you really like and you think this would be fun for them. So share it with them, because why not? Basically, you can turn your chatters, so you know, your followers, into bees that work together to gather pollen and build honeycombs. You can use the chat commands to control the bees and see how much honey you can collect together. I think it's so adorable and perfect for the streamers who want to make their chat more interactive, and for people who want to interact with the streamer even more. It works with OBS and Streamlabs Desktop, and the full version lets you connect to YouTube and Twitch. You can change layout, pick skins, choose flowers, set the vibe, decide how many chatters can join, and you can even log in your bot account. Basically, the whole little hive running right on your stream, you know. So if you're curious, you can wishlist it now and support the full release. I just had to give it a shout out because it's such a creative, fun project, and I think streamers will absolutely love it. If you want to check it out yourself, I'll leave the link in the description so you can try the free demo and be part of, you know, helping this project grow. Alright, so before I jump into the whole chaos, let us slow down for a moment and talk about what this event was actually supposed to be, because if someone did not play during 1.11, the whole situation might sound like I am exaggerating, and trust me, I wish I was. So the big highlight of the update 1.11 was this event called Unleash Your Style Super Styling Contest, right? It was marketed as this super cute, fun, social event where the entire server would basically team up for some lighthearted fashion competition. And the whole idea was pretty simple. We got 3 factions. Gilded Past, the elegant, classy, fancy aesthetic, Pepper Jam, the cool, rebellious, strong energy group, and Wild Hearts, the colorful, sweet, lively, girly, nature vibes. Once you choose your faction, you cannot change it, okay? That's it. You are locked in for entire event, and from that moment, everything you do inside the event contributes to the score of your team. So every player becomes like a tiny pixel in this big server-wide competition. And on paper, it sounds adorable, you know, like Hogwarts houses or something like that. And to make it even sweeter, before the update dropped, they released this personality quiz, a cute test that was supposed to help you choose the faction that matches your personality and style the most. But and this is important, the test was not in the game, okay? Obviously, not everyone saw it, not everyone cared, and not everyone even knew it existed. Me included, by the way, which already made the whole faction distribution very uneven from the start, because apparently, if you skip the dialogues, the standard faction was Gilded Past, and this is important, okay? Now, here's where the real game came in. After choosing your faction, you entered this board game style event At first glance, it looks like Infinity Nikki themed Monopoly kind of stuff. You had a little path, you rolled your dice, you moved across the tiles, collected points, then some questions or events, and tried to secure places for your team. Every tile you captured contributed to your faction's overall score. Basically, a fashion version of like a controlled territory. You know, nothing too complicated. Just roll the dice, grab tiles, and get rewards. Each team had different NPCs cheering on you, and you would slowly fill the board with your team color. The idea was pick your team, join your faction, and then participate in this board game style activity where everyone on the server helps their Tuesday team progress. A fun, harmless community thing that was supposed to bring us together. At least that was the intention, I assume, because what actually happened later on was a completely different story, and we will get to that. Alright, Starlights, now we are getting into the part that honestly shocked me the most. And not in a fun way, because I expected a little bit of complaining, maybe some balanced discussion, maybe someone saying that event felt weird, and personally I was confused about it at first. But what actually happened, no, absolutely no, I did not expect any of this. So let me tell you exactly how things escalated. At the start, everything looked completely normal. Everyone picked their faction, everyone was doing their tiles, rolling their dice, collecting points. It felt like a regular seasonal event just before the big drop of 2.0. Nothing serious, just something you open once a day and then go back to your life. But the moment the first phase ended, the whole atmosphere flipped. And it flipped hard. People suddenly started arguing about which faction ruined the phase, who wasted their rolls, and who messed up the strategy. And the thing is, the most players didn't know that there was even a strategy. They were just moving around the board because that is literally how the event works. And then the accusations. That is where everything started spiraling. Players were calling out entire factions, saying things like, "You sabotaged the event, you only won because you abused the system." And, you know, they were replying to each other. "Maybe stop crying and actually play. You are just mad because you are behind. Do not blame us because you have no plan." It stopped being about the event and it started to become very personal. People were genuinely mad. Like not, haha, this sucks, but properly angry. And they were not angry at Infold, they were angry at each other. At some point, rumors started spreading that the developers were adjusting multipliers, boosting some teams, changing things behind the scenes. I have no idea whether that was true or not. I couldn't find the evidence for that. But at that point, it honestly did not matter to the players, because when the community already feels frustrated, even tiny change becomes the proof that they need to see something that is unfair, and that just pushed the negativity even further. Okay, but the worst part, and this is what actually pissed me off and made me make the video, was how aggressive people got toward each other. I saw comments from players saying that they were getting actual harassment over their faction choice, and not like, you know, harmless teasing. I mean things like being called slurs, being attacked personally, people telling them to go and unalive because they joined the quote-unquote wrong team, or people getting accused of being awful human beings because of a color theme in a game. I had to read some comments twice because I genuinely could not believe people were saying that over a board tile event. And mostly the weird situation involved Gilded Past, because their aesthetic is more like old-fashioned and like royal vintage silhouettes. You would have to read about that, but it's about the Queen Philonia. And some people decided to turn that into personality labels. And listen to that. One girl wrote that someone told her she must be conservative or support our system just because she liked the GP outfits. And someone called the other a Trump supporter on TikTok, literally just because she joined the Gilded Past. And I'm sorry, but that connection makes absolute zero sense. It says more about the person making that accusation than the person playing the game. I mean, stating a political preferences based on the color of the cape. A lot of people didn't even read which faction is based on what. I also saw someone say that they were called homophobic out of nowhere on Discord because of their faction, and at that point, it was not even about the event anymore. People were projecting their entire worldview onto each other. Speaking of factions, alliances started forming too. So when the Pepper Jam and Wild Hearts realized that Gilded Past suddenly started winning, they literally formed a union. And I will stop you there. It kind of made sense. When you feel overwhelmed, you try to work together. And I actually think that this is what the event was supposed to be, so I don't see it as a coordinated attack on the Gilded Past. People were making plans, analyzing tiles, calculating timing, deciding which part of the map needed pushing. GP players really wanted to win. They were also confident, sometimes to the point where it came across as, well, sorry, but we're just better. So if anything worse happened elsewhere, I genuinely don't know. I can only describe what I personally saw. And what I saw was a community that completely lost perspective. People were upset, people were emotional, people were stressed, and honestly, overwhelmed. Some players even said that the event made them want to quit the game because the atmosphere felt so hostile. Some says that also the NPC of the Gilded Past was harassing the player, and if you choose the Gilded Past, something is wrong with you, or you yourself like to harass people. And that is exactly why I wanted to talk about it. We as a community have a voice, but we shouldn't use this voice against each other, because pretending that this situation did not happen will not magically make the community any kinder. And I believe that Infinity Nikki is the cozy game, and that's how it should stay in the community as well. We should be for each other. Okay, Starlight, so now that we went through everything that happened, I want to talk for a moment about what I think could have been done differently. Because the event itself wasn't a problem. The way it was built just pushed people into situations that were guaranteed to cause frustration. First thing that really stands out to me is the personality test. It was a cute idea, but it should have been inside the game, not somewhere on social media. If everyone had taken the same test right after logging in and the game simply placed people into the factions based on the result, maybe the whole thing would have started in a much more balanced way. Nobody would need to overthink, nobody would stuck on team because their friends happened to pick it, and nobody would be guessing where to go. It would just feel fair from the start. The second thing is the balance between the factions. Right now, the moment one group started pulling ahead, the rest of the players felt like they were just stuck. And apparently, Gilded Past had a lot more players than the other two factions. So when you see your team falling behind on a live server-wide board, the motivation disappears really quickly, and I understand that. It would help so much if there was some kind of built-in mechanics that helped smaller teams keep up, or gave them a little support so the game stayed even. You know, nothing extreme, just enough so everyone still felt involved and that the game was more fair. Another thing that I keep thinking about is the tone of the event, okay? It looked cute, but it played like a competition at the end of the day. And for a lot of people, myself included, Nikki is more of a cozy escape. If I want to sweat, I will go play Wuthering Waves, okay? I don't need that Infinity Nikki. When the game suddenly tells you that every tile matters and every roll affects thousands of other people, it becomes stressful in a way the game is simply usually not. We did not sign for this while playing Infinity Nikki. If the event focused more on styling, for example, creativity, or smaller tasks, I feel like a whole experience would have felt lighter, and communication would help too, okay? People were confused. And when players do not fully understand how something works, especially in a group-based event, the frustration turns into guessing. and rumors. A few extra notes from the devs, maybe a message about how the scoring works, things like that to calm the community down before things escalate, instead of only presenting who won which phase, which actually I think added a fuel to the fire, because Infult presented on their social media who won, and I think that's also why people took it so personally. Also, the fact that a lot of people didn't know that no matter if you are first, second or third, the rewards are the same. Obviously, we could say that, come on, you could simply read and you would know that there are no additional rewards for that. I don't think that event was a bad idea. It just needed a bit more balance, clearer communication, and the structure that matched the tone of the game, which with a few changes, it could easily become something fun and one of the best events Infinity Nikki gave us. Alright, Starlights, that is everything I wanted to share today. And even if you do not play Infinity Nikki, I think everyone in the gacha community knows how easily situations can get out of control. It happens in every game, and it always reminds us that at the end of the day, we all just want to enjoy something relaxing without feeling stressed or judged. Instead of fighting with each other, I truly believe we should support one another and share our thoughts in a way that actually helps. I think the devs really do try to give us interesting content. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. And when things miss the mark, our feedback matters. And I just want to add this. We as players and as a community have every right to share our opinions when something feels off. Most people agree that this event did not turn out the way it should have. Luckily, we always get a survey at the end of every patch, and this is the perfect place to say what worked and what did not and what could have been improved. At the same time, we also have the option to pause before posting something online. If a message feels unnecessary or hurtful, we can always rewrite it. I'm not talking about normal disagreements, those are healthy. I have a lot of those under my videos, and I appreciate each of one of you Starlights, because I couldn't dream of the better community I gathered here on my small channel. I am talking here about being simple mean and hateful, and I know my Starlights understand the difference. A small pause makes the community better for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, or if you like to spend time here, you can subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot and lets you know when I upload something new. And no matter if you play Infinity Nikki or not, if you play Genshin, if you play Wuwa, if you play Honkai Star Rail or any other gacha game, I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you seen similar situations in other games? How do you think events like this could be improved? Let's talk down in the comments. And thank you for being here. And as always, stay cozy, stay shiny, and I love you so much, Starlights. Bye!